Kenyatta is expected to convene an extraordinary summit tomorrow, Wednesday, with governors in a bid to discuss the surging COVID-19 numbers. And as Zainab Mohammed now reports, tomorrow's meeting could determine whether or not the country will undergo a second lockdown that will heavily impact on Kenyans' lives and livelihoods. But who is to blame?
Since the relaxation of COVID-19 guidelines and the reopening of some of the major sectors in the country on the 28th of September by President Uhuru Kenyatta, things are seemingly getting murkier by the day, 36 days down the line. From a declining number of COVID-19 infections in the month of August and September to a steep rising curve in the month of October, the dawn of a second wave of COVID-19 infections in the country. Did the reopening come too soon, and is shutting down the country the one and only remaining option? A spot check by TV47 in different parts of Kenya's COVID-19 epicenter, Nairobi City, it is evident that Kenyans are ignoring and flouting COVID-19 guidelines. Most of the people we encountered didn't wear masks, while those who did wore it inappropriately on their chins. This shockingly not excluding law enforcement officers who are supposed to enforce the adherence of COVID-19 containment measures. Businessmen going about their businesses without the care for a mask or the 1.5 social distancing rule. Are Kenyans ignorant, rebellious, or are they just tired 8 months into the pandemic? On the other hand, the political class, having just launched the infamous BBI report, are extremely busy holding rallies and campaigns for the report in different parts of the country. The gatherings that are led by the head of state himself and his deputy, Dr. William Ruto, barely following COVID-19 guidelines, no or little consideration on social distancing rule or even wearing of masks. DP Ruto, through his Twitter handle this evening, acknowledging the damage done by political rallies when it comes to the fight against COVID-19 and promising to scale down his meetings. He says, and I quote, "The upsurge in COVID-19 cases strongly indicates that a second wave might be in the offing. For this reason, I have decided to significantly scale down my public engagements until further notice." The empowerment meetings for this weekend in Machakos, Kitui and Makueni are postponed. End of quote. The reopening of the country brought a huge relief to many Kenyans and to different sectors that came very close to collapsing as a result of the closure. And barely a month after the reopening, another closure will have huge implications to the sectors should Wednesday's meeting determine so. The main question now being, who is to blame should there be a second shutdown? President Uhuru Kenyatta will be meeting with governors from the 47 counties tomorrow in an urgent extraordinary meeting that is expected to chart the country's way forward in the wake of a second wave of COVID-19 infections. Zainab Mohammed, TV47, Nairobi.